you guys for another exciting night with yours truly, Sylvia Camille. How are you guys doing? Did you batter up last week? Remember, that was the word of the week, batter up, in honor of Hank Aaron. Well, guys, I got to tell you, I was having an amazing week. I'm back at school. There are students in our school, and everything is going good until Friday, guys. On Friday, unfortunately, my family lost a pillar in the family who had been in the hospital. He had been in the hospital going on 4 weeks. He was diagnosed with COVID, and unfortunately, he passed on Friday, and that shook our families. We just couldn't believe it. So tonight's show is dedicated to Mr. Otis Shaw Jr., my brother-in-law, Dr. Dwayne Seville Shaw's father, and my sister, Charma. So, guys, guess what our word of the week is going to be? Our word of the week is embrace. EMBRACE, embrace. And I chose this word because I want you to use it as the verb in the action form. Okay? And I have to share with you, of course, the definition of embrace. But before I do that, I want to encourage everyone to make sure you wear your mask. Make sure you wear your mask, okay? Because the statistics say right now the COVID statistics are 876,000 cases, 13,557 deaths in Georgia. In the United States, the USA cases is 26 million and deaths 437. Although Papa had some complications while he was there, but I want to just encourage everyone to make sure you wear your mask, double up. Those who are able to get the vaccine, I know some people are afraid of that, and I am one. But I'd rather us to take a chance on this vaccine so that we can use the word of the week going forward, which is embrace. So this week, I want you to embrace someone. Using the verb, hold someone closely only in your arms or show a sign of affection. And then the other definition of embrace, accept or support a belief, a theory, or change. For example, ministry, and enthusiastically. So for embrace this week, and Valentine's is coming up in a couple of weeks, I want you to embrace your loved ones because we don't know the time or the hour. And so much is going on in the world. So make sure you embrace your loved one. Give them a hug, or give them a high five, deuces, whatever y'all do. Staying safe. And then I want you to embrace your dreams. This is 2021. 2020 is over. Remember, we talked about it. New beginnings in the first show for 2021. New beginnings. I want you to embrace your dreams. Embrace whatever is pierced down inside of your heart that's going to give you inspiration every day to move forward and do something positive in your life. So make sure you embrace someone with love this week and embrace your goals and your dreams or whatever you're doing in your life to make yourself better. And guess what? I guess tonight, Mrs. Nikki R. Miller is embracing her gifts and talents from God. Let us join her into the room. Hello, Nikki.
Hey, hi, Sylvia.
Hi. I am so happy to have you tonight. So happy to have you tonight.
I'm
Our
excited to
word
be
of the
here.
week is embrace. Okay. And I was
Yeah.
sharing with the viewers that you have been embracing the gifts that God has given you with
Yes.
writing, singing, and acting.
Yes.
So, guys, Nikki was raised in St. Pittsburgh, Tampa, Florida. She's a mother, she's a wife. Okay. She's a screenwriter. She's the CEO of NRN Faith Based Films, and she sings as well. So, Nikki, let's just jump right on in and tell the good people all about you. How did you start singing?
Whew. The singing, with everybody, it seems like singing always began when they're like 5, 4 years old. And I fall into that category. I was like 5 years old and just remember my aunts in St. Petersburg telling my parents to that I need to be up there singing. So I actually started singing at the age of 5 and in church. I've
That's
been
right.
raised in church pretty much all my life, has sung a lot in church. And then as I got in school, began singing in choruses, and then I did some stage plays. Just a couple of ones that had there were musicals, but have been singing at weddings and funerals, unfortunately. But yeah, and I'm just now really like embracing the singing and taking my singing to other heights, which I'll talk about later on.
Later on. Do you
Yeah.
remember your first solo?
Oh my God. Um, I think it was, and it wasn't really a solo. I was leading a song when I was a little girl, and it was "Try Jesus."
Try Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
You remember that? You know that one?
I was gonna ask you to sing a little bit of
Oh no, it's try Jesus, he's all right. Try Jesus, he's all right. Try Jesus, he's all right. I know that I have tried him and he's all right. That was
Amen.
as a little
Amen. All
girl.
right. Amen. Yes, I've tried Jesus and he know he is all right. Oh, I
Yes,
love it. I
ma'am.
can't wait till
Yes.
we get some more. Guys, she gonna be singing again for us when we talk about her book, okay? But come on, let's learn some more about you, Nikki, so the viewers can know which famous singers do you admire?
Whew, I grew up admiring Whitney Houston. I would mirror her voice, try to do everything she did um, with every song and practice, going up, going down. So I admired her. I admired like Aretha Franklin. I admired who else? It's actually a long list. And then I also love like gospel groups like Kiera Sheard, the Clark sisters.
Okay.
So I would Janet Jackson. So it's like a mixture of gospel and a mixture of the other singers as well. So it's a long list. But Whitney Houston was like the top. She was the top. So when I would sing, a lot of times I would sing her songs
Okay.
for like a wedding, like I did like a pageant when I was a
Mhm.
teenager, aka pageant.
Yes.
Might I say, because I know you're AKA.
Yes.
It's an AKA pageant, and I actually placed. I was a runner. I don't know if it's runner up, but I
Oh,
placed.
that's
But in
beautiful.
that pageant, it was
In that
scholarship.
AKA pageant.
Yes, I won a scholarship, and I won one. I sung "One Moment in Time" for
Oh,
that one.
awesome.
So I was she was definitely a singer that I admired quite a bit growing
Have
up.
you ever thought about doing any projects on your own, solo projects?
No, not really. Not really. I just thought about I have written songs before, but I have not really like placed them and took them seriously. They're probably somewhere in the box somewhere, to be honest. I did write some, but I never really thought about singing. So for the movie which we'll talk about, that will be my like debut, like really, really getting out there
All
and
right.
singing. And like we did AGI together, that's like the first time that I really, started singing because AGI, they kind of pushed me to go for that dream and do all the talents, not just one gift,
Just
but all of them. So now I'm like really starting to get into like the singing. Also, although acting is the bigger part for me, but
mhm.
I'm singing, and then I sing at praise and worship at my church. So
Right. I
I
was
do a
going
lot
to ask you
there.
about that. What's the name of your
Yeah.
church again? Because sometimes I get a chance to see little clips of it on Instagram.
Yes, it is World Harvest Church, and that is located in Roswell, Georgia.
Okay. And you
So
help.
yeah, I sing praise and worship there. So a lot of my singing is for that and practicing those songs. Unless I'm practicing, like I said, something for AGI, which they've given me songs to work on as well. So
Okay. Well,
yeah.
awesome. Well, we're going to hear some more singing. So let's talk about your acting. We're going to get into your writing in a minute. But
Okay.
you're learning to be a triple. You are like a triple threat. So how
I
you coming with your acting going on too now?
So the acting started in the 90s, like when I graduated. I attended John Casablanca, which is in Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, I got signed to a few agencies, or well, an agency there, and they put me to work, especially like doing like modeling stuff, taking photos. So my very first commercial, forgot what year it was, but it was actually for Epcot. It was
Oh,
Mission Space. It was a ride, and I played a mom. And for that commercial, I got $600, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be doing, I'm gonna be doing more acting, because that was good." I'm like, "Wow."
yeah, that
So,
was good.
and that was good. So for that, and all I have to say was one word, and that was "wow."
Okay, is
And I
anyone
got paid
listening out there? Did
six
you hear
hundred
what Nikki
dollars.
just said? One commercial, one
One
word,
commercial, one word.
$600.
$600, but they were looking for, a mom that had a certain personality, and it was Disney, so I'm sure they had. There's no telling how many they had to comb through before they found me, but that was my opportunity, and that was my break into getting into acting. So from there, it was hard to kind of do acting because of raising a family.
Mm-hmm.
I have two sons, a husband, so it was kind of hard. And then I was working in corporate, so I was kind of in and out, and wanted my husband to get finished with school and then raise my kids. So I didn't get into acting actually again really until like full time. I can do it now until AGI, and I started taking classes and did the showcase there. I'm telling you, that gave me some life.
That
Doing that showcase gave me some life.
it,
So
hey, it brings out new bursts in everyone.
it did. So, but before then, I would, do some plays. I used to, when we lived in Nashville, Tennessee. My husband and my family lived in Nashville, Tennessee, from about 2004 up until about 2015.
Mm-hmm.
And Born Again Church is where we were members at, and they have a huge drama ministry there. So I was a part of that, and I got a chance to do a lot of acting there in those plays. And then I was signed to an agency there, so I would do little things here and there, and that I could, and then acted probably one movie here, one movie there. Not big, but it still gave me the exercise and the training that I needed for acting. So, but now I can do it like full time. So, husband's done with school, kids are grown. Now I can go full throttle at my passion and
You
be
can
that light.
embrace. You can
Yes,
embrace
embrace.
everything
Exactly.
that your heart desires.
Exactly. Exactly.
So let's
So,
jump into now talking about the writing because this is the meat of our conversation tonight. Your writing. How did that start?
the writing thing was very, very, very new to me, and I must say that that was kind of dropped in my lap from God. It started in 2013,
Mm-hmm.
and this is the backstory of where the story came from. So the backstory is in 2013. I was watching the news one day of a young man in his early 20s. He was getting arrested for rape. And I'm sitting there watching, and actually, it was a few young men that was being arrested, but this particular young man, got my attention because I'm like, he's young. What drove him to commit rape? What was it? Did something happen to him as a young boy? Did he get raped as a young child and it wasn't addressed? What happened? And then it hit me, and I started thinking I was molested as a little girl by family members. And if I had not encountered God when I did, how would I have turned out? Where would I be? So then I asked God, I'm like, okay, how can I help? How can I help in some way? But I didn't know how at that time. So it
Mm-hmm.
was at least a few months down the road after this when I began writing what I thought was going to be a stage play. And I did a table read, and the people that was reading that was saying, "No, no, 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 this is a movie." So I
Mm.
sat back. I sat back, and I'm like, this is when things really shifted into gear. I'm like a movie. Okay, Lord, you're gonna have to show me, what this movie is going to be, how to do this movie. Number one, I didn't know how to write a movie. Had no clue how to write a movie. Number two, I didn't understand why God was giving me the story in the first place. And then I asked him, how is this going to help others? Going back
Mm.
to what I saw in the news, how is this going to help others? I got crickets. When you ask God and God don't you don't hear
He doesn't
nothing.
respond when you want it.
Yeah, I got crickets. So either way, I went home. I studied how to write a movie. I talked to people, and actually completed the screenplay in 2015. So initially, I still didn't know, still didn't understand why I was given the story, and again, how I was going to help others. So still asking God, and still got crickets. So initially, the story started out as "Broken but Not Forsaken" as the title.
Mm.
Then it evolved. By the time I completed the movie, it evolved into the title "Change of Heart, Never Say Never." So in truth, the screenplay came before the book. So it wasn't until June of 2016 when God said, now that you did the film, now that you wrote the movie, write the novel. And I'm like,
Ah.
God, you got to be kidding. I just learned how to write a movie. Now you want me to write a book? So I had to go study, talk to people, research it, pray about it, how to write a movie. I just know, and what I would say in the midst is that, when God give you something that's big, or something that you think that you cannot do, just say yes. Just say
Mm.
yes. And he will give you what you need. He will give you the resources. He will give you the people to talk to. But back to that, I say, are you kidding me? So, but either way, I wrote the book. He helped me. I wrote the book, and I asked him again. This time, I asked him, why me? Why
Mm.
me? And then I asked him again. I still don't know why this story, why this particular story, and how's it going to help others? I got crickets again. Nothing but crickets. But in August in 2017, to speed things forward, I finally got my answer. I finally got my answer. And it was after I forgave, released the family members that molested me.
Mm. That was gonna be one of my
Yes,
questions. Yeah.
yes. So he said, now, after that moment, he said, now you're ready to help others do the same. And then gave me the exact reasons why he downloaded this story into me.
And do
Yeah,
you think well, we know that, seeing that young guy being arrested for rape
yeah.
and knowing your history, what you have gone through, I don't know if those members and they have been arrested, that triggered something that, that I've got to do something about this.
It triggered, actually, it just triggered, what it triggered is, what came to mind, Sylvia, is that when you're a child, what you intercept as a child into your heart will play a lot on your growing up.
Yeah.
It will play what you put out as an adult. So whether it's good or bad, what you receive into your heart, whether it's good or bad, that's what's going to come out as an adult. That's what's
Right.
going
It's
to
one
come out as
chapter.
a
I hope you
teenager.
read a little bit
So
about it. I highlighted it. That I wanted you to go deep in about that the pain that you carry as a child carries on to adulthood, and if you
right.
don't embrace it, then it can mess up what's
That's it.
yeah.
That's the whole thing. So if it's not addressed, and embrace what happened to you, and then address correctly the way that it should, which
Hmm.
boils down to forgiving, the abuser, the one that hurt you, because that's where your true peace comes from. That's where your freedom comes from. Then if it's not addressed, then people, that's why people turn to drugs. That's where people turn to alcohol, and having to do a bunch of therapy. But it only numbs you. That stuff only numbs you and takes
Oh,
away that pain for a little bit, but it's not your complete freedom. It's not a complete peace. So that's why he gave me this story. That's when he told me in August of 2017, when I forgave and released, now I was ready to help the others. So it's a matter of the main focus is, where do we go from here? And that is to how can I help others now? And that's when he told me those reasons. Now I don't know if you want me to get into those reasons now, or
That's fine. You can.
what you
That's
think.
fine. That's
So
fine.
so those reasons, of course, after he said that, now you're ready to help others do the same. That was a like, whoa, that's it. I've been waiting for that answer. And
Mhm.
those reasons he gave me this particular story, and I'll get into that further about the story. But the reason is number one, to help others heal from past hurt of any kind. So it wasn't just me being sexual abuse, but it's
Right.
any kind of hurt. Number two is to show a correlation of what unforgiveness does to you and how the enemy will use that against us and those close to us. So it's to show or teach a lesson of not only how to forgive others, but that you may even have to forgive yourself for something.
Right.
Number three is to show the importance of parenting, to show the importance of fatherhood. That is so important these days. And then number four is to bring awareness about child sexual abuse, to encourage speaking up the first time when it happens, because keeping silent does much more damage than speaking up. So my hope is this is a movie that would be for a family, even not just the movie but the book as well, that young kids can read as well, because there's nothing, no cursing in it. God gave me this
No,
story in a unique way. There's no cursing. Even we
you
talked
flip
about
the
sexual
pages
abuse.
fast. It's an easy read
It's
when
an
you.
easy read.
Yeah, it's
Yes,
an easy
yes,
read, and that's one thing I said I wanted to mention to you. I like the dialogue, the conversation, the rhythm, and the timing of it, because it
yeah,
like keeps you like this. You're like this.
yes,
I have to talk about though in the chapter where the young what's his name, where he sees his father, he knows his father cheated on his wife. I mean on his mother. I was like,
Calvin.
oh my God. I was like, what? Is this really happening? This little boy is seeing his daddy, and he is the one that have to go tell his mother that mama, dad out there cheating on you. I was like, oh my God.
Yes.
I was like, I hope this didn't happen to nobody.
Well, you'll be surprised.
Was it somebody you know?
You'll be surprised. So this story is, I'm 48 years old. So you see a lot, you hear a lot. So not in my particular, not in my family,
Mhm.
but just growing up, hearing, seeing. I've been in church all my life. So, those things has happened where, somebody be in the church and supposed to be a certain way, but living a different life on the outside. So that's what it is. So this story is not my story in particular verbatim, but these are events, these are things that I've seen or heard growing up, because I've been in it for so long, been to church for so
Right,
long, So
right.
yeah, it gets good, girl.
Yeah,
It
I
gets
was like,
good.
because I was reading. I mean, it was just the way you described it. He and his friend are riding on their bike, and his best friend say, "Is that your daddy truck?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, please don't tell me they can really see his daddy over there." So I was like in that, and then the correlation of the workbook. So
Yes.
I know you're going to share with us, if you want. I have some more questions, of course, but if you
Okay.
want to just insert a couple of what you want to read right now, because you'll be reading two more
Okay.
inserts.
Okay. Do you want me to do reading, or you want to?
Yeah, you can do one reading now.
Okay. Okay. So let's see. So the first one I'm going to do, and I'm not going to read like the whole chapter, just some, because I don't want to spoil it for the readers, for those that have not gotten your book yet. Talking to you all.
Right, and
I'm
tell them
just going
where
to read
can they
just a
get your
little
book.
bit. Yes, and so even while I'm reading, you can please feel free to go onto Amazon or BarnesandNoble.com and order the book. You can also order the study guide as well, and Sylvia's holding that up. So the books are available in print and an ebook on Barnes and Noble. Well, the novel is on Amazon.com and Barnes and Noble, but the study guide is only on Amazon.com. So yes, you can go on while I read and say, "Ooh, this sounds good. Let me go order my book." And I'll get into the study guide as well, because even with that, I should have did the study guide when I first wrote the novel, and
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't obedient. So, but this year it was the best time though, and I think it came out the perfect time. We were quarantining, and I wrote
Yeah,
it.
I love the self-reflection questions
Yes, yes.
and the Bible
So
verses that you have to go along with the situations.
with the situations,
Yeah,
absolutely,
I love
absolutely.
that.
So I thought it would be good for what we're addressing.
Mm-hmm.
That study guide had to be done. It had to be done. So God helped me with that. I wrote the book in a little over 30 days, and I wrote the study guide in over a little over 30 days.
Oh,
So the
you.
study guide wasn't playing. God wasn't playing. So that was released in December. The study guide was released in December. So it's a fun book. My pastor's wife actually did a forward for the study guide. She has the novel as well. So, but the forward is inside the study guide for people to read. So they love it. So I'm going to read. This is going to come from chapter 1.
Okay.
Okay, it's just on page 2. I'm going to drop down for those that may have their book. It says, there are only two lights glaring in the home, the one coming from the TV and the one coming from Rose's bedroom, which was a few steps away from the living room. The home was decorated conservatively with limited furniture, however, pleasant. And a few family pictures were on the wall and on end tables in the living room. Thanks, Junior, Rose said with a sigh, then smiled when she glanced at the TV as she took the box into the kitchen, knowing her hunch was right about her son. A man angrily yelled, "Where you been, Rose?" from a bedroom. He was somewhat tall and handsome, 40-year-old African American man with a mustache and goatee named Calvin Hardy Sr., who was a construction worker and Calvin Jr.'s dad, the man Calvin Jr. resembled and looked up to. Calvin Sr. stood in front of his and Rose's bedroom door wearing a white wife beater and some old rugged jeans as he waited for Rose's response. She yelled from the kitchen, "I stopped to get us something to eat." Then she walked back into the living room. She said to her son, "Junior, go get you some chicken." "Okay, yes, ma'am," Calvin Jr. answered. He proceeded to prance toward the kitchen until Rose stopped him dead in his tracks. "Wash those hands, young man." "Yes, ma'am," Calvin Jr. answered as he headed to the bathroom. Rose proceeded to her bedroom, passing in front of Calvin Sr. at the doorway without a word to him. "Rose, I know it didn't take this long for you to get home from work." "Calvin, I got off at 7, then stopped to get dinner for us. What is the big deal?" Rose asked. She pulled open a drawer on her dresser and began rummaging through her clothes to find something more comfortable to put on. Calvin Sr. grasped Rose's arm tightly. "Ow! Don't lie to me, Rose," her husband said abruptly. And I'm going to finish up with this paragraph. At the sound of her outcry, Calvin Jr. immediately dropped the chicken leg he was feasting on onto the floor while in the kitchen and rushed to his parents' bedroom door to see what was going on. Rose had a look of complete confusion on her face because his behavior had been off lately. He was normally a mild tempered, church going man. I ended there for that chapter.
Yeah, you have to read it so they can find out what Calvin Senior.
What happened next?
What happened next with Calvin Senior?
What happened Senior?
I was like, oh my. That's what I said.
What
I said,
what
oh,
happened?
oh
Yes.
my.
Yes. So I don't know if you want to, I have like 3 other parts. So if you wanted me to continue or you want to ask
Yeah,
anything
I
here
want to
or
stop because I want to go back to those
okay.
4 points again. The purpose of me writing this
Yeah.
forgiveness.
Yep.
And I
So
love the
it was
fact that you said forgiving yourself because
even
that's
have to
hard
forgive
for
yourself.
people. That's a lesson I had to learn. It's hard to do that. What tools or what encouragement can you give the people who are listening who are, they're having problems dealing with that?
With that to me, even with forgiveness of anything really, I mean, especially a tremendous hurt, it takes God, it takes prayer, it takes the Bible, it takes the word. And I believe that don't try to do it alone. That's the thing.
Mm,
You can't, a huge hurt, you can't do it alone. You need God, you need Jesus to help you to get through that huge hurt. And it takes him. It takes him to help you to get past it. And people need to know that forgiving a person is not for that person that hurt you. It's for
right,
your sanity. It's for your peace and freedom. So when you do your part, I always say, when you do your part, God will do the rest, because his wrath is none other than, can't nobody get past his wrath. And that's my
right,
thing. You have so many people that try to retaliate and say, "Oh, I'm not going to forgive them." Like the never say never. I'll never forgive him. I don't care what he or she did. But when you do your part and you realize that God will do his, then you'll be fine. So my thing is, don't try to do it alone. Do your part and allow God to do the rest, and he'll
mm,
take care of them. It may be convicting. God may convict them, have them to come say, apologize to you. You just never know. But don't worry about that part. Again, do yours and God will do the rest. He'll do
right.
his. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about some famous authors, some of your favorite authors, because you are an author now.
I
And
am.
somebody's
I
going to
am.
be talking about you, how your book has inspired them. So, what is one of your favorite authors?
I don't, to be honest, Sylvia, I don't. It's hard to say favorite authors because there's so many. So
Yeah.
what I say is, or my belief is, I don't have like favorite authors, but any author is a favorite of mine that will bring about a message, a positive message,
Mm-hmm.
that will build and encourage people, and one that have beliefs like I have, one that believe in what I believe, one that have the same morals and ethics that I have, is my favorite author. So I haven't narrowed it down to, and I probably will at some point, but I haven't narrowed it down to like favorite authors. I just, because I kind of read different things.
Mm-hmm.
uh but most of the time, I'm telling you now, it's the Bible that I read. So the Holy Spirit is my favorite author.
And that,
um
hey, I love it. I
the
love
Holy
it.
Spirit's
We
my
all
favorite
need the
author.
Holy Spirit. No matter which form we
Yeah,
receive it, we need it
yeah,
in our life to get through
yeah,
this journey.
exactly. He's my favorite author. So, like I say, it just depends. I like any book that's going to give a great message, a positive message. So, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Is there any particular chapter, though, that reflects your life?
Oh, you know what? This book has a lot of things that was reflected in my life.
Hey,
Of
Nikki.
course, of course, being a victim of child sexual abuse, but also, I grew up, with some of the fun things would be the soul food. We did soul food dinners after church. So, and we talk about soul food. Might get hungry when you're reading it. We
Right.
probably
I
read
was
some of
I
that
was gonna
soul
tell you
food.
that 'cause the way I love the way the adjectives that you describe, it's like I could actually that
Yes,
that first chapter, I felt like I was in that church. Like I
that's the
could
way it should
actually
be.
see the church women coming in exactly your level of description and how you write. I just thought it was
Wow, thank
you have
you.
a gift because I could see everything. I didn't have any hesitation. I was like, oh, I could visualize them on their bicycles. It was
Yeah,
detail. So how much of that, what does that take for an author to pull something like that off? Because it's many
yeah,
times, when people say, oh, the book was bland, I had,
yeah.
but that's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, and I think the way I'm glad the way God gave it to me, because, like I say, He gave me the movie first and then turned it into a book. So that made it easy for me actually to kind of describe what you're
Hmm.
talking about, because I envisioned it on the big screen. What I see, like the plates. I mean, the soul food, the macaroni and cheese, and the collard greens, and all of that. The chocolate cake. I can see it and I envision that. So I turned that into the novel. Some of the other things that reflect in the book of my life was that, like I said, this is about, I heard and see a lot of this stuff. One was, we used to sit down to a table and do dinner without without cell phones and without all of distractions and things. I'm used to growing up like that. So in the book, you'll find where you might not have gotten to it yet, but David, and you might have David, one of Calvin Jr.'s sons, when he's an adult, he tries to sneak in a magazine to the table, and his mother, Calvin's wife, Elena, she's not having that. He's caught. So I grew up having those simple meals, enjoying each other as a family. I also as you get down further, that the fishing, you'll see that there's fishing in there. My family love to fish. We love to go fishing. So I tried to include a bunch of things that I love to, love to do as well. The church mothers. I was used to growing up seeing church mothers, and they didn't play. Those church mothers did
No,
not
they
play.
didn't. They kept you in line.
You know what I mean? Right, right. So you be playing in church, let one of them see you. So they didn't play. So I had to have me a church mother in this movie. And once we get into, we discuss the movie, I'll let you know who's attached and all of that, because I can't wait. That's gonna be fun. So yeah.
All right, we're ready for you to share another part of the book.
Okay. Let's see. So this was going to be from, let's see, what chapter did I want? I had another one marked here. I got my paper. So let's do chapter 7. I think I had another one, but I forgot where I marked it at. So chapter 7, read a little bit there, and I'll let you know where I'm going to stop at. So it says, Calvin opened the door, scouting for his childhood friend, Tony Brown. And we're at a place where, for those that haven't read the book, Calvin Jr. is an adult now. So we're in present day. So scouting for his childhood friend, Tony Brown, at a place called Jay's Lounge, a small bar located near the area where they lived growing up. He and TB hung out there sometimes for drinks. It was a rather pleasant and friendly atmosphere and had been renovated since their college days. They'd added a stage for entertainment, but no one was performing at the moment. However, soothing jazz played and the lights were somewhat muted. It was a good little crowd for a Sunday afternoon. Half of the tables were filled with patrons, and some were sitting at the bar, keeping the bartender busy. It was a mixture of different ethnic backgrounds, but mostly African American. After a careful scan of the room, Calvin took notice of his best pal sitting with his back slightly turned toward the entrance at a table near a wall. Close to the other side of the building, he approached his table. Once at his table, he stood behind TB and said, "Never has been one to miss out on happy hour, huh, TB?" Tony turned around, stood up, and gave Calvin dap in a manly embrace. Embrace, that word.
That's our word for the week.
CJ, what's up? It looks like Dallas been treating you good, man. You're here visiting your parents? Yeah, man, that's all I come back to Southfield for. Calvin took a quick glance at Tony's left hand and said, "And I see you're not married yet." Now, you would be the first to know who else would be my best man. And man, I'm still waiting for the right one. What, one that has long hair and a Coke bottle shape? Asked Calvin. Tony laughed. Nah, man. Maybe in the past, he told him. I'm looking for one who loves God like I do. And of course, long hair and a Coke bottle shape along with that won't hurt. Tony said with a quick raise of his eyebrows. They both laughed. So you a church man now, TB? I won't call myself a church man. Just that I'm not the same man you've known in the past. I live now for the man upstairs. So how did the preacher man reel you in? Calvin asked. Well, he talked some and I listened, but I decided to make that change myself, CJ. Calvin replied with a slight smile, and I guess you live without sin now. I didn't say that. Nobody's perfect, CJ. That's why we need God to put us in check sometimes. You know how that is. Yeah, I hear you, Calvin said. Did you and my wife talk to each other before I came here? I'm going to stop there. What happened?
Stop right there. Stop right there. That is enough for anybody to go and grab your book. Change your heart. Never say never. Before we talk about the movie, I want to know, what situation, we know that you got about the molestation, but what situation has caused you to say never?
It's going to be the molestation, the child molestation, because to be honest, I have forgotten about it. It didn't even phase me. But as I start getting older, like in my 30s,
Mm-hmm.
I would have like visions, and then would just start crying. And then it wasn't until, like I said, August of 2017, which was when God revealed to me that I was ready to help others. Now is when I forgave. But I didn't. It wasn't the fact that I would never. I never said I never would forgive them. It's just the fact it was there. It was there, and I didn't even know it that it was there. I didn't even know that I had not released them, that I had not forgave them
Mm.
until that moment, until I got that release from that retreat. And that's a retreat called Encounter that my church does, and anybody can attend. But that was when I released everything, and after that, that's when things that's when God put things into motion about this book. That, I filmed the Sizzler, and everything just started coming together. Everything started coming together because even though He gives you something, you may not be ready for it at that time. It's still a process. It's still a journey. So everything's just been building every year from since 2013, even up
Mm.
until 2021. Things have been building. Even like with the interviews, things has been building. I
Right.
wasn't ready in 2017, 18. I'm still growing, still learning this process. Now, helping others, forming a 501c3 to mentor and starting to establish that will mentor girls 12 to 13 years of age who's been sexually abused, as well. So God will give you little nuggets as you go along, as
As you
you're
go
ready
along.
for it. As you're ready for it. So yeah,
Yeah, I hope the listeners,
that
I
moment.
hope you hear that. Once Nikki released and she forgave, that's when all the blessings start coming.
That's when it started coming. That's when things opened up, and that's when God made things more clear for what
Mm.
I was doing, not for what only I was doing, but what He wanted me to do, what He wanted me to, because it's all about what He wanted. And now I'm ready to help others, and I am. I'm ready to help others because I pray that everybody sees this, read the book and watch the movie, because it's going to be awesome and help heal others, help heal families. So yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and talk about the movie. Talk, let's talk about the movie. Let's tell them where they can go to the website. Are you able to tell the actors?
Yeah,
Are you
I can tell a couple, and I can tell who we're in discussions
okay?
with. So
Because
first of all,
if they watch Black Lightning, they know one of the actors,
they know one
right?
of the
That right?
actors. Yep, yep, exactly. So first of all, so the first 31 chapters of the book is the movie. The
Mm.
remaining 17 chapters is a bonus for the readers. I may make that into a sequel. I don't know yet, but that's a
Okay.
bonus if you have the book. So the first 31 chapters is the movie. The story takes place in Southfield, Michigan, and will take place in Atlanta. Um, I know God gave this to me because I didn't even know that Southfield, Michigan existed. I didn't even know what that was. I had to look that up. So that's for somebody. So for the book is going to be a little bit different than the movie. It's going to be
Mhm.
a little bit different. So in the book, it's still going to be Southfield, Michigan, but it's going to be in Dallas, Texas. You'll see in the book. And I changed Dallas, Texas to Atlanta for the movie.
For the
So this,
movie.
yeah, for the movie. So just to give a summary, of what the story of the actual story, it tells of a headstrong father's unforgiveness. It sets him up to repeat history and nearly destroys his family in the process.
Mm.
Um, Hardy Jr., the
Right,
main
Calvin Jr.
character, hmm which my wish list. Listen, this is my wish list, and I pray that he watches. I would love for Idris Elba to play. Please, I hope you watch this.
He might
Um,
see it. We put it. Hey, we're gonna embrace.
Embrace it. So he's a 43-year-old project development engineer. He makes a hasty decision to take a job opportunity to satisfy his flesh while in turn leaving his family to fend for themselves and vulnerable at a time when he's most needed. So every story, builds up to this final moment. So that final moment for this story is when Calvin Jr. receives that one phone call relaying a message of unexpected devastation to one of his sons, a tragedy that will forever change him and his family.
Mm.
And so now his world lays in the balance of his next decision. And that decision will ultimately determine the fate of his heart and will drive him to try and redeem what was lost. So let's get into who some of those actors are. And also for the wife, for Elena, for Calvin Jr.'s wife, I would like, my wish list is for Kimberly Elise to play the wife. So I pray that she's watching and she will see. Um, y'all show her, tag her, because I want her to
Tag
play
her.
the wife. Tag her. So that's them too. But I have already attached, and I kind of wrote some of the things down so I don't miss anything. So actress Denise Armstrong,
Mm-hmm.
she will play Mother Newsom. She recently won the 2020 People's Choice Best Actress Award for the um, International Christian Film Festival for
Okay.
her role as Barbara Scott in the movie Overcomer. She also
Oh,
played on Greenleaf as well. Leora, I forgot the name. I had it down, but forgot it exactly. But she's been on Greenleaf as well. Jason Louder will
yes.
play Uncle Darren.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he played, for those that don't know, he played Frank Two Bits Tanner in Black Lightning, and he played Cressy in the Wu Tang Saga, and will be in a new movie soon to be released called Abiding. I don't know when it'll be released, but you can probably check his page out and see that as well. We are also in talks with Cameron and BJ Arnett to play Calvin Jr.'s parents. I thought it would be cool. I've known them for a while, and I thought it'd be cool for a real couple to play his parents, and I thought they would be perfect for it. So we're in talks about them playing. We're also in talks about and he played Thomas. For you guys don't know, Cameron, he played recently had a big role in the movie Overcomer as
Mm-hmm.
Thomas Hill and
Okay.
won the 2020 Actor of the Year award for the International Christian Film Festival. We're also I've also discussed having L. Warren Young play Pastor Gillespie. He played Fred Williams on Greenleaf, and then a host of other roles in film and TV, quite a bit. So we don't have time to list them all.
Right.
Um, Also, I will be debut. Yes, my singing. I will be debuting my singing, for which Brandon J. vocal produced the song that I'll be singing, which I can't release yet. But for you all don't know who Brandon J is, he's so talented. Sylvia knows who it is. That's the son of Natasha and Craig Garcia, the owners of AGI. Brandon's company is Teddy Bear Music, and he has under him the group Hello Sunday, season 17 top finalist on The Voice, and the group Pink Heart. He will also be the vocal producer for a single soundtrack that me and my son wrote, and it's called "Gotta Have a Change of Heart."
Mm.
So yeah, so he wrote that, and my son will be singing it, and we'll be featuring Domingo Guyton, a rapper, on that song, and we're working to have Brandon J to also vocal produce that one. So yeah, we're
This.
planning on.
Go on. Go on.
Well, I'm just gonna say we're planning on shooting in August or September of this year. However, it could start as early as July. So the books, it all sales from the books are
Mm-hmm.
going towards the film. That's for funding the film. And then, but I'm also looking at taking on one or two investors that want to partner with me as well. So I'm putting that out there too, for those that are looking to invest in the film. But I'm looking for that as well. But the books, it all sales from that will go towards funding the film. So
Amazing. You have
it's going
embraced
to be
it.
phenomenal. I've
You have
embraced it.
you've taken what you've
Yes.
gone through with your forgiveness, and now you're using it as
Yeah.
a tool to help other
To
people.
help
What's,
others.
what's your website again, so everyone know they can go? You have a Change Your Heart Instagram page as well.
Yes, yes. So all of where you can find everything, I am Nikki, Nikkir Miller, Miller. That is on Facebook and Instagram. And then for the movie is Change of Heart Movie at Change of Heart Movie. You can find that on Facebook as well as Instagram. The website for the movie is www.cohmovie.com. That's www.cohmovie.com. And then there's also a YouTube channel, and it's just Change of Heart Movie channel. Change of Heart Movie channel is that. So yeah, I think I got all of my. I want to make sure I mentioned everything. Yeah, so that's all where you can find me at, the information about the movie. And please subscribe to the YouTube channel because I'll be loading up when it is time. I'll be talking about what's going on behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Be loading up videos and interviews on there about the actors and everything. We'll be putting out casting notices when it's time. So if you're not following it and you're thinking about wanting to be in the movie, this is your time to follow so you know when we'll be opening up casting for that. I do have a casting director already. She's been attached to it, and since I started writing this thing, she won't let it go because of the message, because what it's talking about. So
Right.
she's ready as well. So yeah.
That leads us to, we're almost wrapping up, but you said message. So what is the message that you want to share with your fans, to leave with your fans? What is the biggest message?
It's going to be number one, um, forgive. Try to learn to forgive. And
Mhm.
number two is never give up. Never, never, ever give up. No matter how old you are, what you're doing, don't give up and don't compromise your morals or ethics for money. Don't compromise. And that's one thing I want to teach, especially our young kids, because I mentor young people a lot, young adults and teenagers. Don't compromise in your dream, and to go for it. And you know, pray about what you're doing, and God will open, especially those that don't know, uncertain about what to do or what to do next, or they're not sure what God is giving you. Just take some time, quiet yourself, and listen to what he's trying to tell you. Listen to what he wants you to write. Listen to what he wants you to sing, or what lyrics he wants you to write down, because all the ideas come from him. All the gifts, all the talents come from him
Yeah.
anyway. So
Right.
listen, take time to listen, and move away the distractions, and then you'll know what to do next, and how to do it. Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful message. What is your biggest reward you feel from all of your gifts? Because you have some gifts. Out of
Um,
all, what is your biggest reward?
as far as with my gifts,
Mhm.
my the reward is when I know that I've blessed somebody with it. When somebody come to me, like at church, and I've sung, and they say that your song touched me, your when you were singing, it touched me, I felt something, it was anointed. That's my biggest reward, is when I know that what I do will impact someone else. What I do impacts someone else. When I know that it impacted someone or changed someone for the better, that's
Mhm.
rewarding to me. Then I know that I was able to bless somebody else with my giftings, which is what we're supposed to do anyway.
Love it. Love it.
Yes.
Now, with all of that going on, before you sing, you're going to sing one more time for us, Marie. How do you balance all of this, Nikki? This is a lot. It's a big project. Some people will be like, oh, I can't do all of this. So, how are you taking care of yourself? What's your self care every day?
It's by to be honest, I get up in the morning. First I pray.
Hmm.
I read the word. I get into the word. I ask God what he wants me to do for the day, and I get in to read. Sometimes my reading may take place later on, but I try to get my reading in, and that's Bible. Reading the Bible.
Right.
I have a couple of books that I'm reading spiritually, but the Bible, just getting into that kicks off my day. And then my husband, Johnny, and the boys, Jamar and Jarvis, they keep me going. They take care of mom. They take care of me and make sure that I'm doing good. They're my biggest cheerleaders and my supporters. So that's how I do it. That's how I take care of self. And it's just prayer. I could not get by the grace without the grace of God. I cannot get by, even in 2020. If I didn't know God, I would be insane. I'm gonna tell you now, I would be insane, be going crazy, be depressed. But he has been my rock. He has been my rock to get through everything and to make sure that I take care of this, and then to be successful with the project that he has, that he's given me.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, it's almost time for us to wrap up, but I want them to hear your anointed voice one more time. One more time.
Okay. Just a little something. I love you, Lord, and I lift my voice to worship you. Oh, my soul, rejoice. Take joy, my King, in what you hear, and let it be a sweet, sweet sound in your ear. Sweet Holy Spirit, sweet heavenly dove, stay right here with us, filling us with your love. And for these blessings, we lift our hearts with praise. Without a doubt, we know that we have been revived when we shall leave this place.
Whoa! Beautiful. So I
Amen.
can only imagine what that song was going to sound like for the movie.
Ooh,
That is
Brandon did his thing. Brandon did his thing. So he
that
pushed
is
me to level. So
awesome. That is going to be awesome.
yes, yes.
Well, Nikki, our time is up with Sunday Night Live, but I want to personally thank you again for being a guest with me tonight and
Thank
sharing your
you.
book and sharing all of your inspirational nuggets. I know our viewers who are watching and your fans, don't forget to like, comment, share. I'm going to take Nikki out for 1 second, and then I'm going to close us out.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so
You're
much.
good.
You'll be back when that movie hits.
Yes, ma'am. All right. Yes, ma'am.
Well, guys, it's that time for me to say goodnight. But I want to leave you again with, don't forget to embrace a loved one this week, and embrace yourself, because we all need it during this time. And don't forget to embrace those dreams of yours, okay? I love you. Like, comment, share, tell somebody all about it. Have a blessed week. Smooches.